Friday, everybody. Thank you for joining me for the Ladies Devotional. Today's lady that we're going to be studying about, her name is Zilpah, and her story is found in the book of Genesis, chapter 29, verse 24. Let's read from the Bible first, and it says, "And Laban gave unto his daughter Leah Zilpah, his maid, for an handmaid." All right, we'll read from the journal now. "Upon her marriage, Laban gave her eldest daughter Leah a servant of her own. Perhaps Zilpah looked forward to this new place that would give her more importance. But instead of happiness, a good deal of sorrow was headed her way. Jacob, Leah's husband, hadn't wanted to marry Leah. So he ended up marrying Leah's sister, Rachel, too. The sisters quickly began a battle of the babies to see who could give Jacob the most children. When Leah thought her childbearing... Sorry about that. The air conditioner kicked on and that is way too loud. Okay, I'm going to start that part again. When Leah thought her childbearing days were over, she gave Zilpah to her husband as a concubine. How did Zilpah feel about this? We don't know, but we do know she felt blessed to have her first child, naming him Gad, which means good fortune or a troop. It seems her outlook was positive, even though life wasn't perfect. Zilpah obviously delighted in her children, since she named her second son Asher, which means happy. But the marital relations in the camp brought a good deal of sorrow and contention too. And when Jacob returned to his homeland, it wasn't his beloved Rachel he put out in front of their caravan in harm's way. It was Zilpah and Rachel's maid Bilhah, also Jacob's concubine. These women were not loved for themselves. Jacob loved Rachel. The other three were primarily desired for the children that they bore. Who would start the 12 tribes of Israel? Like Zilpah, none of us have perfect lives. But do we focus on the less than perfect, or thank God for the many blessings He sends our way? We can choose to live in God's joy or in complaining. Which will make us happier? Oh, I think I choose joy. Joy is so much better to carry around in your heart instead of unhappiness, anger, and complaining. And I'm not gonna lie. I used to feel that way. I used to feel that I had when I was growing up. I felt like I had a lot of anger and a lot of nothing made me happy. And this was when I was young. I really remember feeling that way. And I think what it was is when as most of us, when we're growing up and our hormones are changing and stuff, and we just aren't sure about life and what we're going to do, and even the people that we hang around with, everything affects our attitude. And I never realized that when I was young. I remember my mom and dad telling me that they didn't want me to hang out with a certain person because of the fact when I was around them, I changed. And I wasn't my normal self. And I remember being angry about that and thinking, that she was my friend and I loved being around her. But when I got older, it took me about 5, 6, 7 years later before I really realized that they were right, that I did change and I became somebody that I didn't even like. So yeah, it does matter. It matters who you hang with. Especially I think, if you are a Christian, no matter if you're young or if you're old, the people that we fellowship with, the people that we talk to the most, we actually take on part of them. I've noticed it in myself. I've noticed it even in Steve. And of course our son when he was young. Steve, when he started doing a lot of jobs at church, I noticed that he had picked up a laugh that It didn't sound like the laugh he had always had. He didn't always use that laugh, but sometimes when it came up, it reminded me of somebody. And one day it dawned on me, oh, he's actually working with that person in church now. And he has picked up a sound of a laughter that this other person does. It's kind of funny, but really, if you watch myself, I know for 100% fact that I will pick up things that other people do and not even know it. I had a good friend that every time she would go down to Kentucky and visit her family, she would come back with an accent so strong, and it's just how we are. We're made that way, a lot of us are, and we pick up things. So these people that we were talking about, Zelpha, being I cannot imagine being used just as a baby machine. It's basically what they were used for. And I can't imagine not being loved and still being, used as a baby maker. How sad would that be? But it made me wonder, because we choose to live in happiness and joy, or we choose to live in misery and complaining all the time. And that is a choice, I think, that we make every single day of our lives. Whether we realize it or not, I think that we all do that. I know sometimes, I'm just saying, I believe that we all do. Let me know in the comments below, but I'm telling you, sometimes I can get up in the morning and I can feel like maybe a grouchiness come over, that I just woke up. Mom would always say on the wrong side of the bed, and apparently that's true. I would wake up with an attitude, and I would have to, sometimes still yet, of course I do that, and I'm like, God, why am I in such a mood, a grouchy mood, and I don't like it, and I don't want to be like that. So I'll just pray and ask God to, please help me get over that and become what He wants me to be. And usually once I put my mind on Him, not on myself, but on Him, that's when my attitude changes. And I realize that I want to do His will, not mine, not about Nina at all. It's all about the Lord. I want to do His will. So I guess the thing that I could say, these women were not loved for themselves, because Jacob loved Rachel. He didn't love the rest of them. Just used them primarily for having children. So they didn't have a perfect life, and none of us have a perfect life. And I believe if we had a perfect life, we wouldn't appreciate when things go good, or we wouldn't appreciate getting something as a gift, or we wouldn't appreciate heaven, because we would think that our life, we wouldn't want to go to heaven. We would just think our lives down here were perfect. And my goodness, I don't ever want to think that. Have you ever, just came to my mind, have you ever been, I guess, in a state of mind where you know that you need to clean your house, but you're feeling kind of lazy maybe. Oh, just don't feel like doing nothing today. And I've been like that many times, and I know my mom loves to clean. I mean, she will tell you she loves to clean, and she always has. And but if she did find herself in a mood where she didn't really feel like doing anything, a lazy day, she would sometimes go out and pick her some flowers. Would motivate her into wanting to clean the house up and make it as beautiful as those flowers. That's what Mom did, and she really taught us girls too. Sometimes we just need to put a little joy in our lives and a little beauty, and it will perk you up and make you want to do things that maybe you didn't want to do. It could be as simple as maybe going out and getting some new dish towels, anything like that. And it will perk you up, make you want to clean the kitchen up, or put flowers on your bathroom counter and you want to scrub the bathroom up. Whatever it is. We choose to be lazy, or we choose to motivate ourselves and get out there and work and do things to make our lives happier. Because, once it's all done and all nice and in order, don't you feel better? I do. Right now I'm looking around, and yeah, there's some things that I need to get busy and do today. And What am I going to do to motivate myself? So it can be little things that can bring you joy. It can be something that you've waited or prayed for a long time that's brought you joy. And it could just be your attitude. You might woke up in a grumpy mood, but you know what? Choose joy. So God bless you all. Sorry, I'm just rambling this morning. But I think joy is something that we need to seek, and we need to really try to gain it. And we need to be kind, and we need to offer kindness to people. There's lonely people out in this world, and I want to be just a small part of their day where they know when they're watching something that I have filmed, or they're watching one of the Bible studies or whatever. I want you, each and every one of you, to know that you're special to me, and that I've prayed for you all, and I enjoy having your company too. So you bring me joy, and I hope that I'll continue to bring you joy. Let's just work together for the good. God is good, y'all. God is good. Have a great day.